chase a chick, never chase a bitch. Chase no bitch. Mask on, fuck it, mask on.
Since I'm walking in a swamp, I will tell you an interesting story. Swamps are quite dangerous and hard to walk on. So in old Lithuania, people created underwater roads called kūlgrinda. They were made of stones and not visible from above. So when Lithuanians were fighting against enemies, they would use those roads as shortcuts for defense. Lithuanians also used to trick enemies to go into swamp, and they would drown because they wouldn't know where kūlgrinda is. There are still some remains of kūlgrindas across Lithuania, but always be careful when you're going to the swamp.
You know, it's actually so important for the culture and society, the ability to make yourself in silly little dress-up games online. Without Doll Divine, we would be nothing. We need Pickroo, we need Maker.io. I'm extending a thank you to the Y8 browser for making Flash games still available. Thank you. Silly little dress-up games are what distinguishes us from Beast. Like this is humanity's defining trait. If we gave crows access to Doll Divine, by the end of the week they'd like solve climate change. I just know that it would help.
Look at the big legs on them.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I know there's supposed to be like a really cool hidden drawer situation where he builds like a little drawer in the wall, but unfortunately people like me exist and we're out here, where if I was to put something in that drawer, it does not exist to me anymore. I will never see that object again. Like, especially the length that he goes to conceal it, I would literally leave it there for the next homeowner. And I've tried everything to remember things like this, but it just doesn't exist. Like, I could literally put my phone in a drawer and 10 minutes later, I'm like, where's my phone? It's like, I've tried.
It's about damn time.
Franmach an Jódracha. Sa méarla tá Franmacha soch siimplí tá trí categóir agus sin a méid. Ach sa ngailge tá Franmacha réamhoclacha le smaoine bheith freisin, lam leat leis le am at ige eci fum fút faoi fuhi tigito. So, céirdíad na rá Franmacha tar fáil go chuoine nach fírs nom ráiad. Iwer a hain, an ceanna tamalta ag an woclór atsach ná nós an bhéarla. Siad iad orab, acab, dób, fúb, in sorab tiginto. An tain aib atá leis an gan seo ná ghfuil stair wúthúil áda ag dé them sa méarla nach bhfuil ag siad iad sa ngailge ach is chuig an duine neamhhéon ar é hain an ráha sin. Iwer dó, tá nós I dtír chonal duine chur an úl a bant úsat as na focail seo sin agus siúd, agus ag seo waith sin faoi siúd is réile. Sa nó sin déanta trochtar ad an duine ón gansar in anid gréis an duine hain. Anis, fadó sa ngailge bhí tríú inscinne a mánsaí an foranium a lé.
Is actually sin a bhaim an focail se.
Ach bhí an ghailge chud difrosaréis nach féidir a úsáid ach mar annam uair nua. Francha ar nua eile tarólas gom ná siú ú erú is réile agus sé é eci é leis sé nó rud a cin mar sin. Agus ar nói béidir leat de cheanta héin nach rathú. Mar a gcónaí, an cean a bhfolthain ná an cean atá duine hain comportach leis. Ru míle maigí as 8 féachna, búlagaí an crapa hart, reinigí an fís an seo, agus, feic me sibh sa gé cean eile.
This is your sign to buy a little dish next time you're at a thrift store, because then you can put it on top of something and then have a little dish there.
I am anti-noun. There is not a person, not a place, and not a thing on this earth that I support. And my pronouns are she, her. Thank you for asking.
Is this Britain's most boring plant? Well, this is the greater plantain, but it's not great in the way that, for example, Alexander the Great was great. It's only called the greater plantain because it's slightly greater than the lesser plantain. But wait, it's a plantain! That means it's related to bananas, and bananas are exciting. No, it's not related to bananas. The Plantago family is actually different. So you haven't even got an illustrious cousin, you boring little sod. However, is this plant boring? Well, first of all, can you eat it? Well, yes, you can, but the leaves are a little bit bitter, but they're very good. They're full of lots of minerals and metals and things like that, so they are quite good. The seeds contain a lot of protein, so that's actually kind of cool as well. But I'll tell you what's even cooler about this plant is it contains antihistamines. So if you get stung by a nettle, this is your number one get rid of stung by a nettle thingy-bobber, port of call thing to get rid of stings with thing. Also, the leaves contain these really cool little fibres, which are actually quite strong, and you can weave into string, and in a survival situation, you could use them as a suture, so you can actually sew up a wound with them. So that's pretty cool as well. One of its local nicknames is Beatles guitar strings. No plant can be boring if it's called Beatles guitar strings.
My favorite part of the whole no quote has really affected me that much trend is that a lot of people are posting like actual literary classics, like ancient philosophical texts. When if I had to do it, I would post like AO3 fix because I'm talking about like rip my heart out, stomp on it, make me feel the ache I didn't know I needed from someone who's just doing it for free.
When can we meet Juno?
I doubt if you can ever meet Juno. She's extraordinarily good at knowing what's going to happen next and outwitting the people who are trying to catch her.
You look quite divine tonight, here among these vibrant lights.
Danse everyone, come get ready with me for a powwow. So it starts off with my braids being wrapped, and then I'm putting on my knee-high socks. I put on my beaded moccasins and my beaded leggings. Reasoning for the knee-high socks is so I can safety pin my leggings to the socks so they don't fly around when I'm dancing. Next are my otter furs. And now it's time for the fun part, putting on all my beadwork. First thing I do is put on my beaded hair ties. Next is my beaded headband, which is secured at the back with an elastic. Now it's time to put on my plume. Okay, plume is on, we're looking deadly. Ladies, shake your head, do a plume check. We don't want it falling out. Here I am putting on the actual dress. This is a new dress my mom made for me. I love all of the graduating purples. I sped this part up, but I zipped this dress up in the front and then I put on my white belt. I swear I've had this belt forever. After that, we're all ready to go. I hope you all have an amazing powwow season.
You gotta be nonchalant.
No, I'm very talented. I am very talented. I care a lot. I cannot be this cool, laid back, do whatever. I can't.
Right then, boys, we got all the nations here now, right? We got Wales, Scotland, that other one, I can't think what it is. The Butcher's Apron, Cornwall, I think, was it St. David's? I forget. The Celtic nations, the Gays, and Ireland.
Oh, you can't handle someone's pronouns? How about you start at amateur nouns and move up from there?
Many people have suggested combinations or concepts in some of my other fashion videos. Considering a majority of people in the world are smarter than I am, I thought I'd give some of them a go. TikTok user local Tim Drake has suggested the bolero and lace combo for science, which makes me look like an evil wizard in an RPG who has clearly defined weak points. 4 stars. TikTok user Strange Times Kitty Cat suggested pairing the bolero with a camisole. I had to Google what a camisole was, and then got excited because I had one that I hadn't shown off before. Then, on further inspection, I realized this probably wasn't a camisole at all, which shows you exactly how much I know what I'm doing. 4 stars. TikTok user SarahCast6 suggested wearing a billowy pirate shirt underneath a corset, or so I thought, until I realized they were actually referring to the fake leather tank top that was actually in the video they were commenting on. By the time I realized mistake, I already got this far, and it's past enough my bedtime as it is. 4 stars. Many people suggested I wear a fishnet ensemble underneath this fake leather top, however I didn't have a fishnet shirt to use. In that case, I tore a hole through some fishnet tights and wore that instead. I believe this is common practice amongst golf communities, however I'm going to take credit for it myself instead. 4 stars. TikTok user Morbid Muse suggested I wear the lace top with a cool jacket, which is great for me because jackets are the #1 normal people clothes that I own. In addition, I decided to pair this with the fishnets because, straight up, I forgot to take them off. 4 stars. Let this be a testament that old Ethan listens to constructive criticism and definitely bows to peer pressure.